All right, let's talk about Governor Abbott. Let's talk about Governor Abbott
boy.
because this one's about to get really exciting here. Danielle's governor, to put it, no longer our governor. Ours is DeSantis, which I don't think she's a fan of DeSantis either, but we'll talk about both of them. Okay, so Governor Abbott announces plan to fully reopen businesses, ending state mask mandate. Texas Republican Governor Thursday, his promise on 100%. Abbott issued an executive order that rescinds many of the state's previous orders allowing all businesses in the state to fully reopen and revoking the statewide mask mandate. To be clear, COVID has not, suddenly disappeared, said Governor Abbott responsibly. COVID still exists in Texas, the United States, and across the globe, but it is clear from the recoveries, the vaccinations, from the reduced hospitalizations, and from the safe practices, Texans are using the state mandates are no longer needed. Businesses are able to limit capacity or implement additional safety protocols if they choose to, which is wonderful. He's leaving it up to you, Danielle, to choose and say, we believe you should wear a mask. It's a choice, right? And Governor Newsom quickly responded to the announcement on Tuesday, calling it absolutely reckless. In a Twitter post, Newsom has leaned towards stricter guidelines in California's pandemic response. Danielle, what are your thoughts on your governor?
Well, I think that he was a little upset with the straw poll at CPAC that gave him a 0% probability of being president in 2024.
So you think this is because of that?
Oh yes, I think he needed a moment.
He's looking for headlines?
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you, do you think he wants to run?
Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3. How many times did he visit the White House? 4 times? When Trump was there?
So you think he wants to run?
I think every governor has aspirations.
Every
Especially
governor.
when it's the 9th largest economy on the planet.
Okay.
You're saying if you get to that level where you're the governor of,
You have to have aspirations.
you have such high, lofty aspirations, you can see yourself being president.
Florida's former governor is in the Senate now, and he's got
but let's do
aspirations
this.
himself.
But so you touched up on one part of the whole thing. So he announces he's opening it up 100%, and he leaves it to you business owners in Texas. I'm one in Texas. I have a big business, decent-sized business in Texas.
I've heard.
That if we want to open it up, we can open it up. If not, we don't open it up, right? You say it's because he got 0% chance from CPAC running again, and that hurt his feelings, so he wanted to get relevant. Hey, here's what we're doing. And all of a sudden, media, he gets a few 100,000 likes on Twitter. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's saying yes, no, disagreeing. But how about the actual mandate? How about actually lifting it? What are your thoughts on lifting and putting it at 100% and getting people back to work?
Getting people back to work has
Saving
nothing.
small business owners that are not able to get the business that they were getting.
Now that's a red herring. Getting people back to work. Look at how you run your company. Individuals in their cubicles, they have their own mandates in terms of who can get close and who can't. So you run your business responsibly. Every business can be open. Opening bars at 100% is asinine. It just is. You're assuming people are going to be responsible, and they won't be. Look, there's a reason that life expectancy in Asia is longer than it is here in the United States. There's a reason that we didn't have a flu season in the United States. We were all protected from one another. So there's something to be said for not getting sick. There just is. Look, but again, it should be up to the business owner, but you need to have a responsible governor. You just do.
But I'm sorry, Danielle, I'm confused. So you are saying leave it to the small business owner to decide whether you wear a mask.
In public places, though,
Sure.
wear the mask.
Okay. You're saying, but in public places, he should say you should wear a mask in public places.
In public places.
Such as when I'm out, when I'm running, when I'm walking.
No, of course not. Then you're Newsom. Then you're like, no outdoor dining. What an idiot. No.
Okay, so you're not Newsom, you're not Abbott. What are you?
I'm in between.
You're in
I'm
between
trying
the two.
to ensure
Okay.
that people are as responsible as they should be.
Did you enjoy dinner last night at Louis Boss's?
I did.
How was it?
It was great.
Where were you sitting at when you ate?
The bar.
How many people were at the bar?
Tons.
Tons. Why did you do that?
But we were not all over each other.
Well, people are not all over each other in Texas. They have a little bit more etiquette. They'll say, hey, I'm sorry.
Wait. People in Texas have more etiquette?
I think more than Florida. I like
Not Boca Raton.
No, Florida, they're very, listen, here, this is like people who are like Do you know who I am? The etiquette here is, do you know who I am? The etiquette in Texas is a little bit different. There's a lot of New Yorkers here. So your customer service in Florida is not Texas customer service.
That's true.
But you enjoyed yourself last night.
I did, but I think that there's a certain amount of comfort that you get in knowing that other people have masks on.
Did you send a tweet thanking DeSantis? Did you say, Governor DeSantis, thank you for allowing me to eat at Louis Bossi's and enjoy this Italian food and the glass of wine?
He is so my favorite person.
But here's, okay.
DeSantis.
So how do you feel about DeSantis?
Hashtag sarcasm, hello.
All right, I'm picking it
How
up.
do you feel about, now DeSantis on the other end, you know, Abbott got 0%, but DeSantis on the other end.
Oh, huge.
Okay. So
Mr. CPAC.
Yes. So he is a star in a making that actually has potentially what it takes to be your president. Maybe mine, maybe his, but he could be our president, right? What are your thoughts about DeSantis? I'm actually curious to know what you're going to say about DeSantis.
So,
here we go.
In the Florida Panhandle over the summer, when I came here with my family to vacation, as I do every year, I got away from Destin and the more crowded Rosemary's. I took a step further beyond that, and I only went into Walmart's. Because
sounds like my kind of party.
Because they mandated masks when he wouldn't, in the middle of a wave of COVID. And making teachers go back into the classroom when they should have maybe stayed out for 7 days, which he amazingly did. It's just...
You say that's irresponsible, right?
Totally.
Qualified irresponsible.
But he doesn't care.
Okay.
You have a certain appeal. If you appeal to the rebel, to the Trump, there's a Trump in a lot of people. If you appeal to that person, you're going to make all kinds of brownie points.
What does
You're
that
going to be
mean?
really popular at CPAC.
Oh, I don't think that's it, though. I don't think it's just that. I'm talking pure results is what I'm talking about. So
the unemployment rate in the state of Florida is not any better or worse than it is in the United States.
Yeah, but it's way better than New York and California. So,
of course.
So go to the people that were ridiculously control freak, et cetera, and what they did.
They're un-American.
But here's my argument for DeSantis. Here's my argument for DeSantis and my argument for Abbott. Okay. You know the story about Disneyland, Disney World. This is not a new story. So Disneyland, you know, they weren't working with Bob Iger. Same company, two companies, and Bob Iger's a Democrat, and Newsom wasn't working with him. You know, eventually he's like, dude, I'm not even working with you on this.
I'm going to Disney on Easter.
Yeah, so
I'm back here.
Disneyland shuts down. 25,000 employees lose their jobs. Disney World's good to go. They keep their jobs. So people are able to go feed their families, get the food, pay the rent, all that other stuff. Same CEO, Iger, two separate governors, Newsom, DeSantis. DeSantis helps Disney stay in business and the employees keep their job. Newsom fires 25, I think maybe the number is even 78,000 people. I don't know the exact number.
It was a big number.
It was a big number that lost their jobs, right? Okay. So let's talk about a sport that would be qualified as the most liberal supporting sport in America. Which one would you say that is? Take the four sports.
Basketball.
I think it's fair to say NHL. We don't even know what NHL would be, but NHL is women's sport. Okay, they have more female fans than any other sport. NHL does.
NHL.
By far. It's not even funny.
We like to watch men beat each other up.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so there you go. So what sport is the sport that supports BLM, liberal, philosophy?
The social justice campaign of the NBA
Which is
was
who?
clearly...
The NBA.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the
absolutely.
NBA, who would fully disagree with DeSantis because of his irresponsible actions,
Is here.
decided to do their playoffs in Florida.
Yeah.
The Super
bubble in
Bowl
Orlando.
decided to do their Super Bowl in Florida. DeSantis is trying to get Olympics to be in Florida. Why are people from New York, nearly $1 trillion of wealth, over $500 billion of wealth, moving to the most irresponsible state, Florida? Why are so many Californians leaving to Governor Abbott's state? Why? If you sit there and you look at it from my perspective, the way I see it, he says, responsible, make the decision, small business owners, do what you need to do. Responsibilities on you. Let's do the right
I have
things.
no problem with that.
Yeah. But I also think, to lift what he did in Texas and what DeSantis did in Florida, I think these guys came out being heroes. Look what happened in New York. Every single day we watch Cuomo. Every day we were watching Cuomo. You got, and you know how I feel about Cuomo. I've said this
A
multiple
year ago,
times.
you were a huge fan.
But wait a minute, I've never said I'm not. What I'm trying, even till today, I think the guys, the two brothers, to me, there's an element of it that I see family. I see how their Thanksgiving would be. I'm attracted
How they interact, they joke.
Forget politics. I'm simply talking about
They're Italians.
they're Italians. It's like, hey, what's up? And their dad, Mario. You just kind of feel that you'd want to be at their house at Thanksgiving. You know, if you're a friend, you're like, hey, Cuomo, I'm coming over. Okay, cool. Come on over. Family's waiting for you.
Unless you're a young woman.
Unless you're a young woman.
Sorry.
Yeah, unless you're a young woman. Okay. So again, you know, it started off, Cuomo was a hero. He's going to be the next president. Newsom's a hero. Oh, he's so responsible to be the next president. One guy's about to be recalled, and the other guy's about to be impeached. And DeSantis and Abbott look like rock stars. So COVID kind of made Abbott and DeSantis look like rock stars. And the two other governors, I don't know about that. So,
And you know, the irony is that if you look at the per capita death rate in these states, they're all kind of on top of each other. So for all of the overbearing regulations that were imposed in California, it didn't save the lives.
so
That's
what does that
just
tell
math.
us, though? What
That's
does
just
that
math. That you can go too far. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind a mask mandate in public areas, but let business owners do whatever they need to do to be in business.
Well, I'm glad I lived in Texas for 5 years. I'm glad I moved my headquarters from California to Texas, and I'm glad I'm in the state of Florida. I cannot tell you how safe I feel as a business owner, as a small business owner, entrepreneur. I am glad I'm in these two states because I have offices all over California. I'm all over Northeast. I'm all over DMV.
But you can over-deregulate.
That's what's been happening with those two states.
Because guess who was in Austin during Ice-Mageddon? Musk himself. He was none too impressed.
Yeah.
So you can go too far on either end of the spectrum. 2011,
Sure.
there was the
I
Super
don't
Bowl,
disagree.
there was ice everywhere, the
I don't
power
disagree.
grid failed. The power grid, ERCOT in Texas said, we're going to fix it. 2014, failed again. We're really going to fix it this time. We're going to take those suggestions to weatherize
Yeah.
our power plants. A few years later, 2021, people die. And it's a third world experience. So you can go too far in terms of not having regulations.
I don't disagree. It was very disappointing. All I said is, how's a state this big wasn't prepared for the storm that they had, right? How's that even possible? But at the same time, Danielle, if we flip it, how does a state like California every flipping year lose people to fire? And it's not a one-time thing. At least Texas, this is the worst they've ever had in 100 years. How does Texas, California, every year you got the fire? And you can't figure it out?
They wrote the book on how to not run your power grid. California did. Texas at least had an example to follow.
Yeah.
The mudslides, the fires. I mean, it's just, you have to want to be there
So
really badly because you get the weather from Florida,
yeah,
but you get the taxes from California. Who would do that?
to be where?
Who would live in California with those taxes?
Quite a lot of people. Third largest economy. It's fifth largest economy.
Fifth largest economy in
Yeah.
the world. I get it. And
Yeah.
I'm out there once a year, but who would pay those taxes? I just don't get it. When you can live, and so many companies are agreeing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
before-
why on my Twitter feed, all the Californians, when Texas was freezing, there was just, the word is schadenfreude. They were so excited that there were people suffering in Texas. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, of course.
They were nasty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're supposed to be, people from the happy state. What
It's
are you
unfortunate.
doing?
That's not America, though. But that is a lot of voters on both sides. You know, there's a lot of voters on both sides that
That's why they call it the left coast.
yeah.
Well, just a quick point on, like, why would you live in California? I'll give a case example. We would hear for years and years and years, New Yorkers are considering coming to Florida. And, like, every New Year's, like, oh, the New
Yeah.
Yorkers are here. You know, why would you live in New York? Why would you live in New York? Well, the taxes and the weather. But it took a freaking pandemic and Zoom and being able to work from remote for people to say, like, you know
People
what?
were leaving New York before COVID.
Yeah, but not in droves like this.
No, not in
And
droves,
that's my
but-
point with California is now with Zoom and WFH, work from home and work from anywhere, now you have that luxury, whereas maybe
JP
before
Morgan
you didn't have
just
that luxury.
put up for lease 800,000 square feet of office property. JP Morgan's going to have a bigger footprint employee-wise in Texas than it's going to have in New York. 800,000 square feet of office space in New York.
Pat wants to see states like New York and California be completely flipped on its head. Do you not?
You need you need a young Rudy Giuliani. You just do.
A young hot Rudy.
You're so funny.
Okay, he was never hot. We just said that he was good looking. I mean,
Bro,
don't go too far
he's
here.
a 7 or 8. That's all I said.
Yeah.
He's a 7 or 8.
7 or an 8. It's like a 5.5.
Stop. What would you say you are? What are you, Adam?
7 or 8.
No, you're not 7 or 8. I put you as an 8.5, but you're not. I put you.
Damn, can't even get a 9 for Pat.
No, it's
I don't know. I don't like the grading system.
Come on.
I'm more.
He's not happy
He's
with
a
it.
nine.
He wants a 9. He wants a 9.
Kidding. I'm more obsessed with like Rudy Giuliani that people think we're joking that
he's gonna think about 8.5.
No,
is what he's gonna
people would think that I'm the one who thought that Rudy Giuliani was hot. We had an argument.
We had an
argument.
Del Rey
You
thought
were
Adam was a
vouching-
10 last week.
You were vouching for
he
Rudy
was.
Giuliani.
No,
I thought that he's
Adam's,
kind of gross.
One of the best looking guys I know. How about that? One of the best looking guys I know,
Thanks,
Adam.
bro. If I'm one of the best looking guys in this room,
you know,
I'm
I know a
doing
lot of
okay.
good looking guys. You're
Yeah.
one of the best looking guys I know. So.
Thanks, bro.
Okay, so let's continue. By the way, so we talked about Texas. They did what they did. Target, Toyota, GM, and Macy's in Texas keep wearing masks, which is fine. Do your thing. Employees at GM, Toyota, and in Texas will keep their masks on, the company said on Tuesday, even as the state lifted it. Okay, good. Abbott's executive order lifted. Okay, got it. We know that. Relaxing common sense safety protocols like wearing masks is a mistake. Jason Brewer, Vice President of Communication at State Affairs of Retail Industry Leaders Association, said, adding that going back on safety measures will unfairly put retail employees back in a role of enforcing guidelines still recommended by the CDC. Okay. In terms of 35 other states, Puerto Rico, as of Monday, 35 U.S. states will, along with District of Columbia and Puerto Rico, mandate the residents wear masks in public. Iowa, Mississippi, Montana, North Dakota have lifted mask orders earlier as well. So, you know, you're looking at this. What are the other 11 states that have done it? Montana, Iowa, North Dakota, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina.
Georgia was never even had a mask mandate.
Yeah, they've never mandated a mask mandate. So, again, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen. The reality of it is every time these types of decisions are made, all the, you know, one lady came out and she tweeted, I just want you to know this is a very irresponsible decision. I'm a Texan. I will never go anywhere without wearing a mask. Matter of fact, I'm double masking right now when I go out. I said, great, do it.
That's her business.
She said, I hope they don't force me to take my mask off. I said, no one's going to force you to take masks off. What are you talking about? I said, for how many decades have you gone to the airport and you see folks flying from Asia
with their masks on?
And I would always say, why do they put their masks on? Like, what happens in Asia? You know,
why do they have a longer life expectancy?
Yeah.
Hello?
So yeah, you think it's because of the mask versus the food they eat and how calm and peaceful they are, and
they
Mediterranean diet.
But they also don't have a flu
Monaco.
season like we do. I mean, they believe that germs are not for sharing. But it's just a way of life.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.